Hello. Thanks for joining us again on the channel. I've always been curious about this one, and now that a friend picked one up, we can finally talk about it. His experience, start to finish. Quick note before we begin. There's a discount link in the description and the top comment if you want to check it out. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Let's begin by examining the insights provided by our first reviewer.
This reviewer came into this experience with a love for regular e-bikes, but a definite skepticism about folding bikes, especially the more affordable ones. First impressions were positive, though. The bike arrived well packaged with all the necessary tools for assembly included. Our reviewer was particularly impressed with the manual, finding it clear, well-written, and easy to understand. A pleasant surprise compared to some poorly translated manuals they've encountered before. Assembly took about 45 minutes, a process they described as straightforward, essentially involving simple put this in that and tighten the other steps. However, they did note a couple of quirks. The manual jumped into folding instructions prematurely, and there was an unmentioned front axle brace that caused a moment of confusion. Once assembled, the tires needed inflating, and the battery needed charging with its surprisingly compact charger. The bike is easily adjustable for different riders. Our reviewer is 5'10" and found plenty of room to adjust the handlebar and seat to a comfortable position. The folding mechanism itself is relatively simple, involving quick releases on the frame and handlebar. When folded, the bike becomes quite compact and fits easily into a car's storage area. A slight downside is that the folded bike isn't locked in place, which took a little getting used to when picking it up. The bike comes with two sets of keys, one for the battery and one for the ignition and lights. The handlebar features a bell and the ignition keyhole to turn on the lights. The bright headlight and tail light are great additions, with the tail light flashing when the brakes are applied. What surprised our reviewer most was the bike's responsiveness. It's a single speed and it just takes off. Unlike some other e-bikes, it can run entirely on electric power without the need for pedaling. The reviewer was also pleasantly surprised by the smooth ride, despite.
Awesome. Let's hear what our next reviewer has to share about their experience.
This reviewer recently picked up this electric bike, hoping it would be a good way to get to their new job just a couple of miles away, especially with gas prices being what they are. Our reviewer mentioned they use it every day the weather allows. Assembly was pretty straightforward, they said, with most of it already put together. However, it still took them about an hour to attach the front wheel, headlight, handlebars, and seat. This client noted that this scooter is on the smaller side, with wheels that look like they belong on a kid's bike. It's surprisingly heavy though, clocking in around 60 pounds, making it difficult to lift. The folding feature is handy for storing it in the car trunk or a corner at work, although our reviewer feels like it actually takes up more space when folded. The adjustable handlebars and seat are a nice touch, accommodating different heights. While they're unsure of the exact weight limit, they mention their 300-pound husband can ride it without issue, and it seems sturdy. The folding pedals are another thoughtful design detail. Comfort-wise, this client loves the seat and finds it really comfortable. They also appreciate the shock absorption, which smooths out bumpy roads. Plus, the front and rear lights are essential for night rides. The battery life has also been a pleasant surprise. After nearly 2 weeks of commuting, they've only had to charge it once. On the downside, there's no speed display or way to track mileage, which they miss having from their electric scooter. They also had a bit of a learning curve with the controls, resulting in a minor fall. Apparently the right handbrake is for braking, but the left asterisk handbrake acts as the throttle, which our reviewer finds a bit counterintuitive and potentially dangerous. Overall, though, this client is happy with the purchase and feels like it's worth the cost. They're a little uncertain about the bike's long-term durability and battery life, but plan to provide an.
Cool. Let's uncover what our next reviewer has to say.
This reviewer seems genuinely pleased with their purchase of this electric bike. They mention enjoying the bike quite a bit, particularly impressed with its speed capabilities. Apparently it exceeded expectations, reaching speeds that surprised even the reviewer, who describes themselves as being on the smaller side. One key feature they highlight is its portability, noting the ease with which they can fold and unfold the bike. The reviewer estimates it takes them less than 2 minutes, which they find quite manageable. Battery life is another point of discussion. While the manufacturer might state a longer range, our reviewer reports getting closer to 25-30 miles per charge, which they still find satisfactory considering the overall value. Finally, this client offers some practical advice for potential buyers. Consider stocking up on spare tires and inner tubes. They mention that the unusual size of the tires might make replacements difficult to find at local bike shops, so having backups on hand could save a lot of trouble down the road. Overall, the review conveys a positive experience with the e-bike, despite a few minor caveats regarding battery range and tire availability.
And that's a wrap. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've got thoughts. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.